If you've been miniature painting, you may have heard of washes, and today I'll show you all you need to know about them. Welcome to my exclusive series where I'm going to be trying to convert as many of you as possible into the hobby by offering tips and advice for beginners. Washes are one of the first steps in the journey of a beginner miniature painter. They are basically a very heavily diluted paint with low surface tension that when applied to a miniature create natural shadows, thus creating volume. When applying to my hand, notice how the pigment remains in the cracks of my skin while little paint remains on the top. That's how washes work, and if you're just starting out, washes will be your best buddy. If you don't want to buy them, you can make them at home by simply adding more water to your paints. But they have more than one application, and the better you get at miniature painting, the more you'll experiment, so here's one of the most common ways they're used when painting. 1. Basic shadows. This is the simplest and most straightforward use of washes. I use green Stuff World brown ink wash on our mummy to create shadows. I apply those thoroughly on the base layer and wait for it to dry, and once dry, you'll notice how darker colours have settled into the recesses with ever so slightly pigmenting the surface. Number 2. Applying pigmentation. This is a more advanced way in using washes. Basically, you apply a different colour to your painted parts to change the feel, hue and look of your miniature. I apply a brown and green blue wash to the shield to change the look of the wood. This requires some understanding of basic colour theory and practice, but here you can see the difference it makes to our miniature. It just makes the shield look more natural with nice hues of greens and browns. Number 3. Effects application. You can also use washes to achieve different effects such as rust, grime, etc. Here you basically selectively apply a wash to a part of the miniature. For example, if I want to make this metal rusty by just using acrylic paint, I will apply a wash. This one I manually created by adding water so I could create a rust effect. I used an orange-brown colour, then followed by a more saturated orange. When it dries, the paint will settle and create a rusty look. All I had to do is retouch the metal a bit. Number 4. Toning down colours. If you push your highlights too far sometimes and your blends feel a little bit too rough, a wash can save you the time and effort. I painted this black cloak a bit too bright here, so I'm applying a black wash to bring the light down a bit. Notice that as it dries, all the colours will become more muted. Overall, washes can be super useful if you understand how to use them, so hopefully this video has been useful for you. But if you're interested in something more advanced, please check out my Patreon where I offer in-depth video guides and step-by-step PDF tutorials. This month we're covering a classic Space Marine colour scheme and some speed painting techniques. And stay tuned because in the next episode we'll be covering dry brushing.